This is shoppersguide.org. Well, hello, I'm Paul from shoppersguide.org, and in case you don't know about us, we are a comparative website. We shop the internet and review products so you don't have to. Now, on today's episode, we're going to go through knife sharpeners, okay? They come in several different types. You've all seen these where you hold it and you pull your knife through to kind of sharpen it. Then there is the whetstone. And of course, the one that I was the most excited about was this rolling sharpener where you use a magnetic clip to hold the knife and then you just roll it back and forth on the edge. The question is, which one works the best? Now, you've all seen these before, right? Where they show you how sharp their knives are by taking a piece of paper and taking the knife and just cutting it like that. And it's as sharp as a razor. Well, if you're like me, most folks will go home and try that with their knife and it's not working, right? Let's try this other one here. Same thing. So what's wrong with that? Well, I'll tell you. If you're cutting, let's say you're chopping, you're cutting, and your knife is dull like these are, the chance of slipping, injuring, and cutting yourself becomes greater. Not to mention the fact you're not as efficient preparing your food. When you have a razor sharp knife, well, yes, you do have to take more precautions when using it, but you're not going to be slipping. So how do we get these knives as sharp as this one? Well, we're going to try each of these sharpening methods to see which one comes the closest and which one will actually get us that razor sharp edge. This is a steel, and its proper name is a honing steel. It's usually either made out of a very high-grade metal with grooves in it to actually help you hone the edge, or like this one, it's encrusted with diamond dust, which takes the edge down quickly. Now, why is it not a sharpener? It doesn't have the ability to take off enough metal to re-straighten the blade, because if you cook a lot, you know that your knives frequently need to be re-honed. Now, what's the difference between sharpening and honing? Sharpening actually takes the metal down and realigns it to a sharp, crisp point, okay? Honing keeps that crisp point even throughout the length of the knife, because as you're chopping and working with that knife, that thin, fine edge sometimes gets a little wavy or crooked, causing the edge to actually dull. So these are a great tool for keeping it honed, okay? So let's take a look at these. Let's jump in. Let's see which one is right for you. So the first one that we're going to look at is the sharpening stone, the whetstone. Okay, there's many different brands. There's many different grits. This particular one is 6,000 grit on one side and 1,000 grit on the other. Now, what does that actually mean? 6,000 is a very fine grit meant for honing the edge. 1,000 is a rougher grit meant for taking that metal down and realigning your edge. So let's take a look at what comes in the box here. This is by Sharp Pebble. Okay, it came highly recommended on Amazon. So when you take it out of the box, well, you've got your stone. It's wrapped nicely. Let's just open this up. Okay, now with these, there's a little bit of prep work that needs to go into it. I'm gonna try that one more time. Okay. All right, so this is your stone. The blue side, 1,000, and the white side is the 6,000. So honing and sharpening. It has this neat little rubber piece to help it from sliding. And this one comes with something that I think is very handy. You see, if you can't keep that knife edge at 22 to 15 degree angle, you're going to have problems sharpening it. And this comes with a guide that you can actually clip right onto the back of your knife. So you get it right on in, Now it's a little trick to get in there. There we go. And that will help you align it just right for when you're sharpening it. I can't wait to try that. All right, now, further on in the box, it does have a base. This is a nice wooden base, and it has a rubber nonstick bottom. Now, in order to use the whetstone, you're going to have to prep the stone by submerging it in water and waiting until all the little bubbles come out, meaning that the stone itself has absorbed the water and it's ready to go. So we're going to do that next. Okay, so the time is up on our whetstone. It's been in there for a while. The bubbles have stopped, and we are going to give this a try. First thing I'm going to do is remove the stone from the water, and we're going to go with the 1000 grit. Put our rubber piece on and sit it inside the bamboo base. I have these really nice Kevlar knives. They're folded Damascus steel, and they're quite expensive. But again, like most knives, they get dull real quick. So I haven't sharpened these in quite a while, and this little device that you put on the end keeps it at the proper angle. Now, you're going to want to start at the back and apply pressure with your fingers as you push it forward, gently riding on the edge. Now you can go the opposite way too. Some people go backwards, but about 10 or 15 strokes should actually help on top. And just continue doing this. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Oof, now that is really nice and sharp at the moment. But now what we're going to do is we're going to flip our stone, take the rubber and move it to the bottom, and we're going to re-wet the surface. Okay, and now we're going to hone in that edge to get that nice razor sharpness that we're looking for. You've got that really sharp edge. It's an amazing tool, the whetstone. The next one that we're going to review is going to be the handheld knife sharpener. Okay, this one I picked up for $15 or so on Amazon. Let's take a look and see what this does. All right, it looks fairly well made. It has, looks like 2 metal edges and 1 ceramic. It's labeled numbers 1 through 3, and it comes with a knife cut resistant glove so that when you're running your knife through there, if you slip, you don't really cut yourself. Slot 1, diamond rod. Prepare the straightening damaged edge before actually sharpening, pulling them back several times. 2, tunes the shape, and 3, fine tunes it. Well, I'm going to use one of my cheaper knives on this. Okay, this was one of those Chicago cutleries that you see at the supermarket. It's really dull right now. So let's see how this works. It says number 1, pull back a few times. So we're going to do that. Okay, then you go to the second one. And then the last one. Okay, let's remove all the shavings. That really does take a lot of metal off. So let's get those shavings off and see how this did. Let's get our paper out and do the paper test. Not that sharp. Okay. Nope. I mean, it feels like it put an edge on there, but it's not really taking a bite out of the paper like the last one, which means it's actually not that sharp. And there's little metal shavings all over the counter that I can feel. So it's taking a lot of metal off and not really producing that good of an edge. Now, is it sharper than it was earlier? Absolutely it is. But again, maybe if I ran it through another 15 or 20 times, it would help. But like I said earlier, if you have a good kitchen knife, I would not recommend this style of sharpener. All right, so the next one I am fairly excited about. I've seen these advertised all over the internet, all different prices from about 40 bucks to about $200. This one was priced right about in the middle. I think it was $50 or $60. Comes in a nice box, and let's take a look at it. It has this wonderful little base. Okay, and this has a 15, a 12, a 25, and a 20-degree angle. Now it's rubberized, and you actually can take your knife and, well, stick it to the edge, and then you're supposed to be able to take your rolling sharpener. One edge is ceramic, one is diamond crusted, and just roll it on down the line to sharpen your knife. So we're going to do that on this knife that was not really sharpened by the last sharpener. So we're going to see what happens on this one. Now I'm going to do a 15-degree angle there. So this is meant to roll along the table. Use the diamond edge first, and we're going to do about 15 passes. It's 15 passes on each side. Ooh, it already feels sharper than the last one. So now we're going to wipe it down to get all of the metal particles off of it. And then we're going to reattach it to this. And we're going to go with the ceramic side to kind of hone that edge in. And I'll tell you, this is really easy to use. Just roll it right along. The knife is held in place. Not a problem. Wipe this down one more time. That feels pretty darn sharp. Let's see. It is sharp. This is a very inexpensive knife, and it is now razor sharp because of the sharpener. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, the only drawbacks that I find to this style is that if you're going to do something like a paring knife, it just doesn't work because it's too small. You would have to make some kind of adjustment. And if you also wanted to do a larger knife or a meat cleaver, well, you're going to have to rig something to actually get that edge to roll along. Now, there's several different styles of these. The cheaper ones, from what I'm led to believe, the diamond crusting does wear off quickly. So they might work well for a few months. Right? Well, actually, this one does unscrew. My apologies. I don't know if you can order these, but if you can order new ones, you can screw them back on like that and then just continue on. Now, the more expensive ones have a better diamond crusting, and they come with interchangeable tops, right? So you have different grit diamond, and you have different sharp honing edges with the ceramic. So I do very much like these for certain knives. For other knives, apparently not so well, so I'll stick with the whetstone. And that's pretty much it. Guys, in my opinion, the whetstone is the winner here. The whetstone will actually accommodate everything from a paring knife to a meat cleaver, because all you have to do is run it along the edge. You don't have to worry about the height. Okay, so this is excellent if you're only doing standard kitchen knives, chef's knives, anything that's about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches total in height. Otherwise, you're going to have to figure ways to raise or lower different areas in order to make this contact the edge. But this is a very quick, very effective, and very precise way to do it. So I would say this comes in second to the whetstone. And of course, the handheld device that you slide the knife through, I do not recommend. It did not sharpen it very well. It did put an edge on there, but not the greatest. So the clear winner here was the whetstone. Okay, I'm going to put a link down below to my top whetstones and top rollers. Okay, I call these rollers. They're just, because they roll along the surface like that. I actually do like that. These are a little more challenging to use, but with a little practice, you can be sharpening knives to perfection. Whereas this, I mean, right out of the box, you clip it onto the magnetic slot, you roll it along the edge 10 or 15 times on each of them, both sides, and it's again as sharp as the whetstone. It just will not do a variety of knives that are thicker, like a cleaver or any type of large blade. And it's got a lot of problems doing smaller knives. So this is definitely number one in my opinion. This comes in two. I will not recommend the last style, which is this type where you drag the knife through. That's it for me. If you found this helpful, please subscribe. It's a new channel. And starting next episode, we're going to be giving away some of the product that we actually use on the show. Okay, it's going to be kind of like a contest. And I'll put the details in the next episode. So please like, subscribe, leave comments, leave feedback, because we're growing. Tune into our different stations. We have Paul versus Food. So I actually run a cooking show. I show you how to cook keto, carnivore, standard cooking. Carnivore I actually love. I lost 50 pounds in 5 months without going to the gym and without ever being hungry. I'll link more to that down below. So check out Paul v. Food for our recipes, and also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and it's not Twitter anymore, it's X. Okay, see you in the next episode.